kindness of everyone in the office.
Mm-hmm.
They all have situations similar to mine. They love the Lord, and it's just not out there. Working with those in the same faith is a blessing.
It is.
And just this morning, working downstairs, there was music playing, and it was Christian music. And so I just started worshiping as I was going through my emails and thought, this is so awesome.
I love it.
Working with the local church to take the hope of Christ to every student in the United States. This is First Priority. Now here are your hosts, Steve Chirico and Brad Skelling.
Well, welcome back, everybody.
It is good to be here.
It is. Brad, welcome.
Steve, it's good to see you.
That's glad to be seen.
Yeah.
Glad to be seen, man.
Well, it is another great day to listen in and talk First Priority. And today we have a conversation about who is First Priority.
We do.
And we're going to get into the weeds with this one.
Let's do it.
So who is First Priority of America? Because we do have a national office that wants to serve and support everyone out there doing First Priority. And so I know it can be a little confusing, especially as we add and change people who are on staff. Hopefully as of the recording to the disbursement of this podcast, things don't change in the midst of that, but sometimes they do.
Sometimes it does. Changes fast.
It does change fast. But we're going to go over our, what we call accountability chart. Most people call it an organizational chart, but in the traction system, we call it an accountability chart. And so we are going to go through that today so that you as a listener can know how we can support you and serve you.
It's good.
So, you ready to jump in?
Yeah, let's jump in. Where do you want to start?
Well, let's start at the proverbial top. At the top of our organization, we have Mark Robbins, my boss and yours.
How long has Mark been around First Priority?
96.
So 26 years?
1996.
26 years.
Just for clarity, not 1896 or anything like that.
Nice.
Yep.
Brad.
1996. Yeah, he started out as a director over in Southeast Kentucky, started the Tri-States movement over there that is still going strong. And I think he came on with First Priority of America maybe 2006. And he's been serving as the leader of the organization since 2008. And so it's been a great tenure for him. But he serves as far as the accountability chart goes. He's got a couple of different seats that he plays.
He wears two hats, sits in a couple seats. So first one is.
We'll put this out there. Great people are the right people who are in the right seats.
Good.
And so Mark's seats sitting right now are the visionary. Some people would call it a president. But he is out there leading in our organization. He is the integrator, which is a fancy word for talking about making sure all the different moving parts are working together, integrating together in that. And he's working as well as an expansion director, which I will side note to say we are working on filling that seat as well.
I heard that.
And so he's playing 3 roles at the moment. So he's a busy man, but he is really good at what he does, and he balances all that stuff very well. So
and he's done it for so long that a lot of that stuff is just second nature, and it really is not. He's not being pushed by any of those at the moment.
Correct.
I will be excited to see someone focus on the
expansion stuff, walking alongside Warren. But he's working every day on the big picture, keeping things focused, keeping us moving forward. And again, he does a great job at doing all that stuff.
Which leads us to Warren. Yeah,
let's go from the left to the right on the sheet that we're working on here. Warren is in fundraising. And again, another guy, great person is the right person in the right seat, and he is definitely the right person in the right seat.
Yeah, those of you who follow the podcast who have been around for a little bit have known that one of the gifts that the COVID moment gave us organizationally was really the pause that we needed to put some restructural things in place.
Yep.
And in the midst of that pause, Warren showed up.
That's right.
And Warren began to not only hear the story, but want to invest in the story personally, and then realize, no, I've got a bigger role to play in that than just investing.
Yep.
And so Warren is our fundraiser. He's training our folks that are in districts and chapters on how to do fundraising better, how to tell the story better, and how to close the deal better, which is all things that we need. And so it's great to have Warren in the seat that he's currently in.
It is. He's not only, like you said, not only a good fundraiser, but we are training as well to multiply that effect, because he can't continue to go back to the same locations. year after year as we continue to grow. So it has to get beyond him, and we're excited for what he is bringing to that table.
We are, which leads us to the next person on it, which I get to speak about because you don't get to talk about yourself. You get to talk about maybe what you do, but the next person in the midst of this on our executive team is Brad. Brad and I have both been around First Priority since, the early 2000s, and then came on staff in 2008.
That's right.
Brad serves as the overseer of our finances, which is good. He's a bean counter in a lot of ways, which drives me bonkers, but that's good for us. And he also is our operations director.
That's right.
So all of the systems, all of the details, all of the things that make First Priority run from behind the scenes is your world.
Yeah.
And talk a little bit about that.
Well, and it seems like a lot. A lot of people say, hey, that's a lot of different things. And it is a lot of different things, but there's a lot of people that make those things happen.
Yeah.
And so we will talk about that in a moment, because we're going to bring Janice and Christina and Susan in. And and we have third-party people too. We have third-party accountants. They're not on staff, but we have an accounting firm that we work with. We have a graphic designer that we work with. We've got a guy who is with us today in the building, Aaron Gray. He edits our podcast for us and does some social media things.
The work that Aaron does to make you look good on the vidcast. Aaron, I just want to pause the podcast and say thank you.
He's not just a video editor, he's an artist.
You are doing art, buddy.
I'll just join you in making fun of me. Can I join you today?
Yes, you can. Keep going.
Yeah. And so, and Janice is down there serving as bookkeeper. Christina's working with HR and systems and marketing as well. We've got Summit Marketing, who does SEO analytics for us, all the things. We just have we've got a guy who's working with the app with me now. It's just overseeing a lot, but there's a lot of people that are underneath that making all of those things happen. Working with a writing organization now.
You build good teams.
Well,
that's to First Priority's benefit, is you build good teams and you know how to get out of people's way to do what they do.
Well, really, I'm just really lazy. I don't like doing work, so I just have other people do it for me. And I sit in this seat right here.
Stupid things. Good night. All right, keep going.
Well, on the organizational chart, we get back to expansion, which Mark is currently filling that role. And we're working on hiring that from within, probably, but working on hiring that person who works with Warren. As Warren goes out and raises funds, we want somebody to work with him to find the people. So he's working on the money, and this expansion director is working on the people and making that happen. And then we get to the last seat on the right there, chapter consultant.
Which we've talked many, many years about. In fact, again, if you've been around First Priority, there has been elements of this that we've done for each other. And it really is about soul care and making sure, if you're on the outside of First Priority and you're considering this, being a missionary in America can be a lonely seat. And being a trainer of student missionaries can be a lonely seat. Because you are very, very, it's a small piece of the global view of Christianity in America, right? So the idea that person could really on purpose care for our communities on a regular basis is a great seat to have on the bus.
Well, and let me bring some definition to that as well. So you hear us talking about districts and chapters, right? So when we came on in 2008, I think there were 7 chapters, 501c3s around the country that had their own First Priority name, First Priority South Florida, First Priority Birmingham, things of that nature.
Lots of people doing First Priority.
Lots of people doing First Priority.
Incorporated and set up to stand.
Correct. And so now there are 22 501c3s around the country that operate under the name First Priority. And so, bringing somebody on specifically to care for them and get into the weeds of it. There's some of those chapters that are blowing and going. They're healthy, they're independent, they're strong, they're purposeful. And they're leading First Priority very well, and they don't really need a consultant to come in, but there's some that do, and they want it. They say, hey, I'm at 12 schools and I want to get to 50. Can First Priority of America help us?
That's good.
And so we're working on finding somebody from the inside who knows First Priority, maybe has some relationships with our directors already, maybe not, because there's not a lot of us that talk to Joe and to Sandy and to all the different people out there, but working on finding somebody to work with the 22 to increase our influence, because we know that the 800 clubs, if just the 22 expanded to their capacity to say, hey, if every school in Nashville, for example, because you're a Nashville example, if you expanded your capacity, First Priority, without starting any new territories, would be in 2,400 schools. And so that's we could triple our footprint of number of schools without starting any more chapters.
It's really good.
And that chapter consultant will take some of that on and be a part of who we are and what we're doing.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm. So getting into the weeds, let's talk about the national office, because that gets to where a lot of people have questions. Hey, the national office is out there. Who do I contact when I want to talk about getting some t-shirts? Or who do I contact when I have an email and communications thing or a finance question? Who do you talk to in that situation? And so that's where it comes down to. You and I were going to bring in and introduce you to Janice, Christina, and Susan here.
Yep.
And we're going to have some clever video edits by Aaron, who's going to welcome you, and I'm going to just talk to them, and we'll kind of go from there. That way you can get to know who they are. If you come into the fall conference, you'll meet them again. Susan for the first time because she's brand new.
Yep.
But yeah, and that way hopefully we can help you be more successful in your first priority adventure.
It's good.
Yeah. Should we bring them in?
Bring them in.
All right. We have with us first off Janice. Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself personally, and maybe your family, what you're into, what you love to do, stuff like that.
I have been married to my husband Mark for 34 years. I've got 5 children that are grown, and 3 grandsons.
Wow, congratulations.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So my family keeps me very busy.
That's good.
I'm also a children's author. That's a new adventure for me that I'm really enjoying.
Uh-huh.
So I've written 3 children's books.
It's awesome.
I'm really excited.
Give us the title of the first 2, because the first 2 are published, right?
Yes. My first one is The Star That Lost Its Twinkle. Excuse me. And the second one is Lorelei the Firefly. They are both adaptations of Bible stories for kids. And I don't change the Bible at all. I just make it.
It's good.
Look at it from a different perspective.
Sure.
Because I want to point kids to the Bible.
And where can they find your book?
At janiceblanchett.com or on Amazon.
You have your own website.
I have my
I'm
own
impressed.
website. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's exciting.
You heard it here first, folks. Wait, nope, it's been out for a while. It's been a couple years.
It'll be a year in November.
Okay, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Well, tell us about your role with First Priority. What is your official title, and then what do you do? What does that mean?
My official title is Office Manager and Executive Assistant.
Okay.
And what I do is I'm at the Executive Assistant for our President, Mark Robbins, and also for our Vice President of
Development,
Warren Robald. And then I handle all of the donations that come in.
Okay.
And also accounts payable.
Yep. So.
And anything else that comes along.
Well, I think one of the big one is that come along is the expense reimbursements, and every month you're doing all that stuff.
Yes.
So if you're on staff, you know Janice very well because we're always talking about all the different things, and you do some onboarding. So when you do all the financial documents, so when somebody comes on staff, you're back there making sure they get all the paperwork filled out and they can get paid, right?
That's exactly. I'm very popular.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yeah, anything, man, yeah, you wear a lot of hats as far as that goes, but what's your favorite part about First Priority?
Working with you, Brad. No, I love the whole mission of First Priority. I've worked here for 6 years, and I love my job. I love being a part, even though I'm not out in the field.
Yep.
I feel like I'm doing my part. To take the hope of Christ to every student.
That's right.
And that's huge.
It is. You enable people to wake up and not think about or worry about the finances if they're getting paid and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, we've got a great accountant that helps us behind the scenes as well, and our board treasurer, and we've got a lot of support back there. But yeah, we'll love having you on the team. And like we said, you're a great person because you're the right person for the right seat. And we're all having fun doing it, right?
And he's a great boss, so.
I'm just sad I didn't have something witty to say when you said that. It just caught me off guard.
I know.
I usually have something for Steve, but not for you today, I guess. So, well, thanks for joining us on the podcast.
Sure.
And yeah, we'll bring in Christina.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, Christina. I have with me Christina Sears, brand new name.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, you want to tell everybody, give you a little update of who you are and what you love to do personally?
Yes. So my name is Christina Sears. I was just recently married just over a week ago, and very excited about that. And I have 2 kids, a 19-year-old son and a 14-year-old daughter who's a freshman in high school.
Yep.
And newly married to Philip. And we love to hike and play pickleball and walk and anything outdoors we love.
That's right.
So,
you're always outdoors.
Yep.
And pickleball's spreading around the nation, so got to jump on that craze. Exactly. I haven't yet, but I'm going to get there here pretty soon, I think.
You need to get there. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yep. Tell us about what roles you play with First Priority, maybe your job title and some of the things that you do.
I'm the Systems and Communications Director
Okay.
for First Priority of America. And I wear a lot of hats around here.
Yes, you do.
I work with all of the systems that we have, from our CRM, which is Virtuous, to Podbean for our podcasts, as well as Smartsheet, Metricool, a whole bunch of other systems that we use. And so I'm working within each of those systems on a daily basis pretty much. But I love to kind of dig in and kind of learn about those and figure out those things and answer questions about those things.
Yep.
So I do a lot of work in systems, but I also do a lot of work in communications.
Yep.
I handle all the emails, whether it be FPOA emails or even the district emails. They write them and I send them out.
Yep.
And I also, another big part of what I do, which isn't always all of the time, but I do a lot of HR as well.
Yep, that's right.
So whenever we're hiring new people, I'm right in there collecting all the resumes, posting the job, doing the initial interviews, things like that.
It's very cool. What's your favorite part?
I would say, I mean, there's parts of each thing I like, but I really like when I figure something out that isn't working properly, or if someone has a question and I can dig down and find the answer.
That's right.
Really like being able to figure things out. I don't always like the process of trying to figure it out.
Sure.
But I really like being able to figure things out.
I would agree with that. You always come in with a smile on your face when you say, hey, this happened. Or even you have our graphic designer sometimes call and ask you how to do things because he knows you know how to figure things out really well, and it's always fun to watch you thrive in that area. So cool.
Yep.
I think that's all the questions I have for today. So if you have any systems questions, you want to know how to send emails better to a group. If you're in the district staff, obviously we're doing a lot of that for you, but if you're with First Priority in general, Christina is the resident expert, and so has been for a long time, like six years. Yeah. So it's been good. It's been fun. So thank you for joining us today on the podcast.
Yep, definitely.
Okay.
All right.
Well, and now we have with us Susan Cagna. Did I say your name right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Our newest member. How long have you been with First Priority?
This is going to be my 7th week.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And what is your title?
I am the event coordinator and resource.
Okay, so what is it that you do with First Priority?
Well, I have been learning how to do resources with all the different material merchandise. I love actually going through, and it's an opportunity for me to just pray over all our products before they go out to all the kids and those are in charge. So it's a privilege.
That's right.
And when it comes to events, I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning where everything is.
Yep.
But it's definitely my cup of tea, as I said before.
Yes.
I love planning events and all the details, and because of what it means, it's important to me to make sure everything goes smooth for everyone and they're encouraged throughout the year.
Yeah. So this year you did come in pretty midstream with the fall conference coming up here in a couple weeks, and
I did.
yeah, but you're jumping right in there and making it all happen.
Yeah,
So.
I really enjoy it. It's exciting to stay busy. You know, my kids are not at home anymore, and this is
Yep.
an opportunity to serve the Lord, and through just being in the office and doing these things are important to me.
Well, and that reminds me that I didn't ask you to introduce yourself. So would you introduce yourself and, your family and maybe what you love to do outside of First Priority?
Yeah, well, I am Susan Cagna. I live 5 minutes from here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a husband, Tom, and a daughter, Sarah, goes to Lee University, and a son, Alex, who goes in Murfreesboro. He goes to school at Siegel High School.
Yeah.
So we've been here almost 25 years. This
Wow.
is my 25th year of marriage, as we
Wow,
talked
there you
about
go.
earlier. So I'm excited. It's definitely a new path, a new journey in life without children in the house.
Right?
You have to figure out
crazy.
what to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm really privileged to work here.
My wife and I were talking about the other day that growing up, you talk a lot about getting married and having kids and raising kids. You don't talk a lot about what's after kids, like
No.
retirement, but then hopefully there's like this 20 years here that we're like, who's written the book on this?
Like, we know,
Exactly.
we do.
Exactly.
We've been getting books lately. We've
Well, there you go.
We have a movie list, a bucket
Yep.
list.
Okay. There you
And
go.
just, being able, like, just last night, going to someone else in the family's football game.
Oh yeah.
That was fun. Just
Yep.
packing up and going. And
Going to a football game and watching the family member play.
yeah, the family's all, how is it? With no kids. How do you feel? Do you make
Right.
it through? I'm like, I'm good.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
I was sad
Exactly.
for a little while, but now I'm like,
Yeah. Well, we're not there yet. We're halfway. We got 2 of 4, but
Yeah.
we still got 2 in the house. So
I understand.
I'll ask you more questions on that once we get there. So back to First Priority. What do you love the most about working with First Priority?
Well, coming in and just the kindness of everyone in the office.
Mm-hmm.
They all have situations similar to mine. They love the Lord, and it's just not out there. When I applied to work,
Mm-hmm.
I went through just one of the local websites.
Yeah.
And I knew that I might be working in a place that isn't Christian based.
Sure.
But then this one came along.
Yep.
And then I found out it was in the parking lot of my church,
Uh-huh.
in this next door. And so I'm like, oh, Father, I hope I get this one. I really do. And I happen to know, a couple people here.
Yep.
And working with those in the same faith
Yeah.
is a blessing.
It is.
And just this morning, working downstairs, there was music playing, and it was Christian music. And
Yeah.
so I just started worshiping as I was going through my emails and thought, this is so awesome.
I love it.
But, everyone who sees this and knows that this home office here
Mm-hmm.
are just full of believers that pray together. Yesterday we had a Zoom where we prayed together,
Mm-hmm.
and that changed and centered me for the day.
Mm.
And just know that this is a prayerful organization, and you're covered and protected, and your product is prayed over. And so,
It's good.
and we're all fallen.
Right.
We need
Yeah.
to surrender and
Right.
repent daily. But
Uh-huh.
this is some people that are, I guess for me,
Yep.
perfect timing in my life.
It's good. That's good.
Sure.
I think it's perfect timing for all of us. Definitely see the Lord's hand in all the things that we're doing at the moment. So we love it. We love to be a part of it. So
too.
yeah. Well, if you need anything, resources, I know you've had a couple, like Steve was reaching out to you for some resources for school shirts, t-shirts, things of that nature. So reach out to Susan. What's your email address?
Susan at firstpriority.club.
Yes.
I had to
I knew it was probably not very difficult, but I didn't know if it was just
I know,
Susan.
I'm like, I had to
there
think
you
about
go.
it for a second.
It auto-populates in my mail program, so I don't,
S.
Exactly. Susan, hit enter. Yep, there we go. So, cool. Well, thank you for joining us today and being a part of it so everybody can see and get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, well, here I am. You can just, I'm always in the office or at home. You can reach me just
Sounds
through my
good.
email.
Sounds good. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Brad.
I think that's it. Great people are the right people who are in the right seats. And I may be a little bit biased, but I think we've got a great team of people with First Priority of America. And I'm realizing at the moment, even as far as that goes, we didn't get down to your role and Shane Kenny. Now we're talking about Larry Franks' role as far as that goes, but more great people. Larry Franks is our trainer. As people come on staff with First Priority, we bring people into Decatur and he trains them.
Yep.
You're a regional manager.
Yep.
Shane Kenny's a regional manager.
Yep.
And you're just overseeing coaching, consulting, and caring for the new staff as they come on board. And you're both leading your own chapters, your own 501c3 organizations, but you're working with us part-time, and we greatly appreciate that. As we continue to grow and expand. So we're a growing team. I don't know how long this accountability chart will stay where it is.
Hopefully until the podcast comes out.
Hopefully until the podcast comes out, but maybe we'll edit the podcast and say, new chapter consultant.
Great people.
And put a name in there. I was going to say a couple names, but I don't want to do that.
No, don't do that. No, you don't turn down great people.
That's right. So, I hope that answers some questions for you as far as First Priority goes, and who you can contact and reach out to continue to be a successful First Priority where you are.
Yeah, and I just simply say on a district level, if you're looking to figure out who do you go to and you can't get a hold of your regional guy, Brad at fpofamerica.com would be the place you would go.
I love emails.
And if you're on a chapter level and you're not sure who to reach out to in the national office because it's growing, myself, Steve at FP of America, because I'm a chapter guy as well, or Christina at FP of America, both can get you to the right person.
There you go. I thought you were going to call yourself the chapter consultant for a second, but no, just the chapter guy.
I'm just one of those chapter guys.
One of the chapter guys.
I happen
Okay.
to be one of them.
Sounds good to me. So, well, thanks everyone for listening. Hope this was beneficial to you and to your First Priority movement. And until next week, give us a like, comment, and subscribe, and help us to continue to move this podcast forward. We appreciate it.
See ya.